right?
Martin.
Right, but I think you mostly know him as Poor Marty, and he's here as another guest in our weekly event show. And this time we're talking metaverses, we're talking VTubing, and all of the good stuff that keeps on surrounding us during this past few months, during this craze. So, Marty, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I dropped the thing. My name is Marty. I go by Poor Marty. I am an animator, designer. Through quarantine, I became a VTuber. Yeah, I do lots of things. I animate. I work in the music industry. Yeah, I'm just having fun learning some new things.
Right. So I'm gonna show you one clip like Marvin does. As far as I understood, like it's his favorite thing that he does is he does cover art for trap songs, and you've done some cover arts. He does animated artwork. So
Mhm.
I've done some for Eminem. Is that right? Tierra Whack.
Yeah, I did Eminem, Tierra Whack. I just recently did something for J. Cole.
I'm gonna give the audience one little example of one of the songs, one of the cover arts that you did, so people would get a better. Well, so as you can see, this was one of the Tierra Whack songs. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, I love Tierra Whack. I love the one song is Child, something with Child.
Uh,
That's the time because you're so stingy. Oh my God, I love this song.
yeah, that's a good one.
Right. So can you tell me more? Like I'm especially interested in Tierra Whack, but I would love to find out like how did you get into these kind of contexts? Did you have to climb doing shitty art, and then you kind of got your way up to the top?
Oh man, that's funny. And it's funny because when I started, that was my profile description. I make shitty art, and animation wasn't one of the first things that I was doing. It was I didn't make that cover. I animated it, right?
Yeah.
So when I first got started, I was animating, and it was really bad. Like I was animating in 2D, and it was really bad. So instead of being self-conscious about it and not animating, I just was like, I make bad art, so just deal with it. And that actually got me able to progress in actually how my animations look. And what ended up happening was I was doing animations I wasn't doing animations for anybody. I was just making animations for fun, and I would just tag artists. I would like, yeah, exactly, fan art. So I would do animation. Like I did an animation for Lil Uzi, and Lil Uzi's digital team at the label at Atlantic was like, "Oh, can we share that? We like it. We like it." So I started doing some work with Lil Uzi based off of just some really bad art animation that I did.
One thing that you do is just kind of then you get like you've been doing thing for Lil Uzi, right? So you're in that category of who's doing artworks for that kind of category artists. So it was just like your lucky break, right? That you were
exactly super lucky, and then things kind of just it was just luck, not luck, but it's like I kept doing things like that, and people were noticing that I was doing some of these things, and they just were like, "Hey." So it was just building on the just doing just these random things, and I ended up with Interscope.
Nice. So is that how you kind of decided to go into the realm of NFTs? Because I believe like it's like the place for digital artists, right? All the years the digital artists were underappreciated, right? You can make something, bring it into the world, everybody can rip it off, and there's nothing you can do. And this, was it because of your cover art? What was the reason you got into the NFT kind of realm?
Oh man, you know what? It actually wasn't. So sitting on Clubhouse. Well, let's start before Clubhouse. So I was always into kind of like the future of where animation and tech would kind of collide. So I was into doing like AR and VR stuff before it was really popular. I feel like it kind of got like a big boost in popularity because of quarantine and because of like how popular the NFT space has kind of blown up. But before that, I was doing, little like experiments, just playing with the AR and VR stuff. I had my own like little AR app to take to like little like to take to events, so I could like show off my business, kind of like, hey, look at this.
Did you code them? Those?
Yeah, I actually I built something in Unity. It wasn't the cleanest, but I used a Vuforia plugin to make it, so it wasn't like super duper coded. But besides that, it was like I started doing more stuff like that, and I kind of like really got deep into like, oh, so how can I take my art and do some cool tech stuff with it, and
sell it in a unique way. Like sell it in some unique way, like some sort of marketing strategy. What would they do different?
Right. And what going through all of that stuff, what I ended up on was, after like a year of playing and figuring out what tools to use, I ended up in Unreal Engine, and that's kind of like my transition into VTubing. But what ended up happening was Clubhouse came out, and this whole like VR AR space in Clubhouse got really popular, and I was kind of like just kind of moving around in that space. But then I don't know, a few months ago, the NFT kind of just popped up, and that took over.
Like it just
everything just took over. So one of the things that I was really heavy on was not just letting NFTs and the whole crypto space take over what I was doing, or just completely shift the goals that I had for what I was doing. So I kind of just added it on. So I won't say that, like, I don't even like calling myself a NFT artist or a crypto artist. I like to call myself an artist that uses NFTs and crypto as like a for leverage and as a tool.
Like a hacker if you call yourself a crypto artist. Like it's just some sort of like a buzzword. You call yourself a buzzword. But it's good to call yourself that when you're among people who don't know anything about crypto, so you kind of look cool of being crypto artist. Right. But inside the kind of the bubble of crypto people, when you're crypto artist, then it's like you're a hack. You're just in for a quick buck.
It's just that, and there's a whole like that gets into the stuff that like it's like it gives me a headache talking about the people that do it just for the money. That kind of like there's a lot of people that came and left, and
but those people who want to make the quick buck, some of them are going to be some successful entrepreneurs who kind of innovate and think of the way they can make money, even though they're not artists. I don't know how to make art, right? But I know how to make money. Maybe I can find some different way, and it also shapes the whole kind of realm of NFTs, right? Because it's not limited to art. So I think there is place for those people who know how to make money. They just come in, figure out something, some strategy. They know how to like get some media attention, and just do it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's like a lot of people aren't really focused on the media. I think they've just figured out how to make the money. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I see that's a lot of people that discourage a lot of people in this space is kind of like they don't know how to market their stuff, or they don't know how to get people to see their work. And that's a really big like pain point for a lot of people, is just like the promotion and the marketing and how to get eyes. That's like, it's like, I don't understand crypto. I don't understand marketing or how to get my art seen.
Attention, like, is the biggest currency. Like if you can get eyes, how many eyes you get per, like how many views you get is that how much like you earned or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the eyes. Okay, well, so talking about those NFT spaces, and all about the VR. I just want to get into the project that you're currently doing, which I'm sure you're excited about. I'm excited about it because
Oh
I have no
man.
idea what it is. But I'm sure it's innovative, and
God, this thing.
and it's I'm just gonna play a little video and leave the picture in. So it's just gonna play in the background, and you can just kind of tell us about it. As far as I know for now, is that you're gonna be this character, right? This poor Marty character inside VR,
So,
right?
so it's not in VR. It's I'm actually in a mocap suit. So his name is this guy. His name is Poor Boy, and the show. It's kind of like a game mixed with a show. A lot of the game elements I haven't finished working out yet, but the show is kind of a content show. So it's kind of like we get content, I make content, and then like he has in his shop he has a TV and a computer. So some of the spaces he can some of the content we can show. Yeah, see, TV, and over here is a computer, but we can play content and we'll be able to to have the audience or whoever's in the chat be able to interact with with the content.
So okay, all right, but I mean, when you would be like a mocap as a host, right? Like Code Miko, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I just want to show you one more clip that I have, like to kind of bring in the point of where this is going. At least what my reference point of it was is of Code Miko. So I'll just play one simple clip so you'll understand what kind of VTubing is for those who don't know.
Oh, okay. All right, that's nice.
I protect the Lord.
All right, so we got a lot of couple DLC skins available.
Yeah. Are you religious, young man? Would you like to join my church?
Oh man, Komiko is crazy.
Yes.
I don't.
Would you like to be converted?
This is a video game, babe.
Video game, exactly. And something like this kind of VTubing is like just when you're in a virtual, when you're being a virtual character, right? So you have a virtual identity. You're kind of more free to do things. If you're talking with a person who's a real person and you're virtual, you have more privacy, kind of block, right? And you can just kind of do whatever. You can play it out as I'm just being this character. I'm not being my real me, right?
Right. Exactly.
What you want to do with poor Marty?
So, yeah, it gives me the opportunity to kind of, have fun. Like I used to do a lot of YouTube stuff back in the day, and it's all hidden. It's all private. And I think this gives me the opportunity to do some more fun stuff and I don't have to be scared or like, oh no, embarrassed about what I'm doing, because I can do it as a character who, has his own personality and goals for what he wants to do. So, it gives me not necessarily anonymous. It doesn't necessarily make me anonymous because people know who's behind it, but it gives me the ability to do things and not have to worry about how I'm looking. Exactly. And if you ask my wife, she'll definitely call me a character. So.
Yeah. And so what kind of content how are you gonna interact with your audience? For example, Code Miko, like one of the things that she does is she has she's also making this kind of world in Unreal Engine, and she has it so when Twitch donates her some bits, right? I'm not sure how those work, but there's some bits. And when she gets donated that, like they kind of as a particle effect, they drop from the top of the floor, from the ceiling of her house, and she kind of like a particle effect just drops down, and the person kind of gets the immediate reaction, right, of donating, and she gets overwhelmed with the. So is that something you're also thinking of doing? You said you're going to implement the Twitch kind of interactions with it.
Yeah. So because my stream is relatively new, I don't have enough followers to activate the bits just yet. So bits are aren't active yet, the bit interactions. But what I've done is I've activated I activated the commands through the chat so that if you just type the commands, it interacts. One of the things that I have is like I did a stream last night just as a test. And what I did was like I have a bomb, I have voice, like it'll read out the commands in as a voice, and I have you can short circuit poor boy. So when you type in short, he'll just drop to the ground. There's a lot of this stuff is still being worked out. I want to add some more stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Did you know of that guy? Ludwig? I think it was Ludwig. Like he's super popular on Twitch. Like he's kind of just taken over. So basically, he had this game. He was playing Pokemon with Twitch, where when you donate him like $10, your Pokemon immediately becomes paralyzed, or he dies when you donate $50. So Twitch is against you. They can also write commands to tell what kind of Pokemon are you going to encounter next. So they kind of become part of the players, like the villains or whatever, right? So, and they're interactively playing with Ludwig or with whatever character. So is that what you're kind of planning to do? Like people write commands and they kind of interact with you, like do things on you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the best examples I have of that right now is just the short circuit. He can when you type in short, he'll just pass out. He'll respawn, but you can short circuit him. There are more things where I want to actually have people drop in when they donate bits. They can actually drop in the game, and I can like kind of interact with them. They wouldn't have full right, and they wouldn't have full control over what I'd be able to do or what they'd be able to do as the characters. But they can, they'll still be able to jump in and interact with the world. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Right, but what does Marty do? Why would people want to short circuit him? What does he do in this world? Are you gonna add some games or some user generated content? Maybe they're gonna build some ramps or whatever, and you're gonna like play it. Or what is Marty gonna do during those streams inside this world?
So he's a host and he's broadcasting. Like he's got like a pirate radio show that he's broadcasting. That's why it has the super lo-fi look, because it's kind of broadcasting like from
place. Like this is this is event place where we talk. So it's gonna be your place where you broadcastings, right?
Yep.
So
exactly.
Now we're watching this kind of matrix effect of us being in a broadcasting place, looking at other virtual broadcasts.
Right. We're looking at the next studio, and it's fun because recently, speaking about crypto, I have I have my own social token, and I have I have POORBUCKS with Roll, and what's fun with that is now I can do bounties. I think that's going to be a real important aspect with this, where one of the screens that I have is actually like a bounty board, where if people are interested in the NFTs and stuff like that, or participating in a chat, I can have a bounty board that when people complete tasks or whatever I have the bounties as, I can send them POORBUCKS, and they can redeem them with they can redeem them on Roll with like cool content that they could get directly from Poor Boy. So
right, but can we just before going into Roll, because that's a really good point. I'm sure we're gonna talk about that, but I still just want to get a little bit back to the Poor Marty on what kind of things is he gonna broadcast? What kind of shows are there gonna be? And why wouldn't you be in VR interacting when you're gonna use a mocap suit? So you might as well you might as well have a head too, right? Or are you gonna be sitting with a mocap with your keyboard and mouse?
I'd have my keyboard and mouse, but I'd be moving around. So I can, with the controls, I can also I can turn the mocap on and off. I think for me it's it's easier. Sitting with the headset on is for an extended period of time. It gets a little uncomfortable. I wear glasses.
All right, maybe you can just get some like AR camera, right? You can control your facial movements, right? And you can then you don't need to be in VR, kind of move around, right? You just you just see yourself through the screen as like a mirror or something.
Well, I have the facial tracking with the mocap, so it's full body mocap. So I mean, it works pretty much the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And he blinks now, so I've got the the facial tracking working.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so just tell me about what kind of things are you gonna broadcast? What are you gonna do?
I work with a lot of artists. I work with a lot of animators. I work with a lot of just a lot of creative people who make things, and I want to be able to share the stuff that I share the people that I know. So that's more so what what's going to be on the TV, the content. I'm putting it all together as kind of like a little broadcast series that he watches.
Right? New segment, like, or something.
Yeah, there's like I own a bunch of like hand puppets. So there's gonna be a lot of not Sesame Street style content, but not Sesame Street's aged content, more adult stuff, but just with puppets. So there's gonna be a lot of different stuff. I can do this with any type of character. I chose Poor Boy as the focus because I didn't want to do something with a superhuman style character. I wanted to be a little robot.
Superhero or the Wall-E robot? You just go with the robot.
Yeah. He's it's fun. Like there's a whole backstory to why he's here, and
I'm sure it's all gonna unravel. It's all gonna be like in the story.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's gonna be like a lore. It's not gonna be like linear. Like it's gonna have Marty has his own story. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's gonna be his life.
Yeah, exactly. And what's fun is that I'll be able to add things that story elements in the world so that we can go through we can all go through stuff together, and as I go through the story, people can mess with me and do all of the fun stuff that I make available to people.
Okay, and so going back to the role, the social tokens. So as far as I know, there's this platform that's called Roll, ROLL, and that do social tokens, which means you can kind of register your account and give out. Are you okay there, Marty?
Sorry, I had to take my glasses off.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, so as on those social tokens, basically they let you kind of give out shares to other people. You can just give them as tokens, like as bits, as your own currency. Mm-hmm. You just kind of call it whatever, and you have limited amount or unlimited amount of let's say token, and you kind of just make its own value based on what kind of products you do. For example, there's one social token called Whale. There's one really popular guy who's doing it, and basically it's grown in value just because he's a respectable guy who does like streams. He gives out those bits to people, and he allows for people to kind of buy or kind of donate.
Mm-hmm. You can use the token to buy NFTs.
Right. Yeah. So you're gonna go with this. Can you tell us more about Raw and social tokens?
Yeah. Mine is called Poor Bucks, and I like to think of them as like reward points. So as you interact with, Poor Boy, you join I have a gated Discord server for people who hold the role token, who has Poor Bucks. So you get, special content. Like I create a lot of animation. So I have a lot of assets. I have a lot of, files that people can use. So these tokens are going to be able to be exchanged for access to these assets and be able to be used to redeem for content for from Poor Boy and all
What kind of
that
content
kind
are you thinking about? So, for example, you can kind of watch the stream. Kind of, let's say you get one poor buck token every like 5 minutes if you interact, like some sort of system of you kind of acquiring tokens to watch, right? And then let's say they kind of acquire 100 tokens, and they say, okay, let me buy this NFT hat, which I can then have as a wearable, some sort of like cosmetics. What kind of things do you offer for them? Would you offer for them to buy, or would you kind of make them buy in-game items for your world?
So though something, specific items for the world, like one of the things I was thinking of were stickers that if you bought a sticker, I can put it in a place in the world that it'll be a specific sticker that like has your name or something like that on it.
That's cool. That's cool. And maybe then the player can just say the place where they want, right? And you kind of just go in there and place on a place.
Right. There was one of the things that I have now are like right now I only have three redeemable items, and they're not NFTs just yet. They're content that you can get created from Poor Boy. Like I can like Poor Boy can review your content. If you make content, Poor Boy can give you, like, he can create an intro for you for like if you have a video and you want Poor Boy to introduce it, he can.
It doesn't even have to be an NFT, right?
Exactly.
They just gotta give you some tokens back, like that you gave. You give them like 200. Okay, I'm gonna do a favor to you, right? And it doesn't cost anything. You just kind of, they gave you support, and you give them favor, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that creators can use their tokens, and a lot of people kind of focus on like how much the token is worth. I think the way I'm kind of thinking about using a token is more like what kind of value I can create for the community, as opposed to worrying about how much the token is worth. Like I'm not even like, that's not even something that's really going to be crossing my mind, at least not at this particular moment. So I'm more focused on how we can create some cool content,
That's very cool. So, and can you just give me a little bit more about the kind of game elements? Because I saw that just in the videos there was just like this one kind of place where you do broadcast, but I saw that the whole world was just bigger, right? It was just you go and there's some terrain. So are you thinking of kind of populating the world with some buildings, with some kind of activities, or what's it going to be? Or is it just going to be just the broadcast? What are the plans for this world?
So right now, like, and this is kind of a story, like a story item, or a story element, is that he's crash landed on a barren planet. So he's a builder, and well, he makes things. So there might be some some new structures that he works on. There might be some exploring elements that he goes to try to find. So there might, there's, he's an explorer, he's a bounty, like he fulfills bounty. So there's going to be stuff like actual news reports that he has to go and explore. And so there's going to be a lot of movement. It's just,
you would kind of make like some sort of environment. You make like some sort of a story, and you act as if you're visiting it for the first time, and you kind of give the content to viewers. Like you just kind of build yourself some piece of content, like which kind of makes sense in the POORMARTY world, right? You got like some game elements, and you would just kind of go in and act it out, and just be like a character acting.
Right.
Next episode. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. So it'll be like, so let's say we're, I'm hosting, like he hosts a show in his free time. So maybe while he's hosting, there's a news report from, from whatever part of the galaxy that says, oh, can you find this, whatever, I need this, it's so important. So he's like, oh, I'm going to take this bounty. And then he goes out and he, does what he needs to do. So some of this is going to be live streamed. Some of this would actually be like series content. So like short videos where he goes through some of this story. And
lore, just kind of build lore one piece at a time.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Give it more depth, to give the Poor Marty character more depth.
Exactly.
Are you thinking of collabing with like artists to get your, maybe have some sort of like, let's say the same Tierra to perform a video clip inside your kind of planet? You're thinking about kind of collabing with other artists?
Absolutely. One of the things that, like, I'm glad that I have, you know, besides working in the music industry, I've been, you know, doing a lot of content with, you know, underground artists and up and coming artists. So I know a lot of creatives in the space, and that's absolutely some of the things that we have planned, is getting some of these guys to, and ladies to, you know, hop on here and, you know, just, you know, talk, perform, like whatever kind of setup anybody has. We can, you know, we can get it connected and they can do, you know, full sets. I know a lot of DJs, so I want to be able to get some, you know, some mixes in, you know, so like I'm trying to get all of the cool content creators that I know to be able to, you know, get some, you know, cool stuff and share it with the people.
Right. But 1 second. I just 1 second. Like I kind of froze. I just had a question for you. Oh, but yeah, I remembered. So you had the Poor Marty's in versions. You had version number 1, right? And then you kind of stopped the streams to prepare yourself for version 2, which now has the eyes. I'll just bring it back. This is the updated one, right? You had some sort of run with the Poor Marty 1, and it's gonna be Poor Marty 2, which you're gonna do some streams again and just gonna close again for season 3, or how is it gonna work? Is it gonna be like so come in versions?
So he's actually, let me grab the thing. So he's actually, this guy is actually version, he's actually version 3, right? So
audience.
Huh?
Don't turn your ass to the audience. I mean.
So he's actually version 3. So what ended up happening was I was designing the characters myself, right? And what ended up happening was I made a new version because you know, the first time I made them, I was like, oh, I can, you know, make this real quick. I just want to see if this works. You know, first, this was really just a test to make sure that, you know, I was able to do it. But once I got it up and running, I was like, oh, it does work. Let me go back and actually, you know, build on it. And I was like, you know, I didn't really have like a super strong concept and design for what I wanted. I just had, you know, just the overall idea of how I wanted him to look. So I didn't really put that, like, I think I modeled, like I designed, modeled, and built the first version of him and the world in less than a month. And I got it up and running out, and, you know, everything worked.
And if it works, you go to just developing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So once I went back into production or development, and I started designing a new version of Poor Boy. And what ended up happening was I was like, this looks better, but I kind of would rather have something that is actually like a thoughtful design. I kind of just updated the previous design myself. So I actually went out, reached out to a really dope designer friend that I have. And I gave, you know, we went back and forth for a little while, and he actually came back with, you know, with a design like this. What's fun is that this was literally just the first color scheme that I went with. Like I'll be updating what he's wearing, the color of his helmet, and all of that kind of stuff. And he actually is supposed to have a backpack to hold, you know, whatever, you know, his luggage. So he's supposed to have a few accessories, but, you know, those things will come eventually.
Yeah. And so, do you play any VR chat, Somnium Space, Decentraland? Do you know about those metaverses?
Yeah, you know, I have a weird relationship with VR and metaverses.
Tell me about it.
So I tried, like, when I was first getting into crypto, and I was, you know, not even crypto, when I was first getting into NFTs, I I found out about Decentraland. I found out about CryptoVoxels. Found out about Decentraland, and I was like, I wasn't really impressed. I thought it was cool what you could do in these spaces. Like you could run around, you can interact with the stuff. I thought it was cool, but the graphics weren't really, all that impressive.
It's too ambitious to instantly go with WebXR. Like I think you still should be in the app, because now when you go into web, it's super easy, super convenient to get into, but it's just all lag and just poor graphics because you need to have as little things as possible.
Yeah, you need to be able to keep it up with the, the speed of everything. So it wasn't really super impressive. But then, I heard about Somnium Space and the other ones, and I thought they were cool. I watched a bunch of videos on how to build and how to get your own space, because that's kind of the first thing I always go for. Like I look at what the spaces look like, and then I figure out how what the process is to actually be able to build in these spaces. And they didn't really getting into them seemed like it was a lot of like you had to figure out a lot of stuff, and I thought it just wasn't like I could build my own space, something like this, and just share the viewing experience and get people interactive in the chat.
Too much of a commitment. Like you don't know if it's gonna make it or not. Maybe there's gonna be something better, and you need to go in and learn about all the tools, how to make your own spaces.
Right. Getting super deep in how to specifically build Insomnium Space. You don't necessarily like Somnium Space might not be, a super popular, platform. I'm not saying that it's not, but you don't know where these platforms will turn out. So I just figured I could build something and just go live with it. That here we have the Adventures of Poor Boy. But I don't think that I'm totally against using something like VR chat or even building something like this space. I told you in the chat, this really inspired me to actually maybe get more into building something more custom, like a space that people can actually explore. Yeah.
Why I was asking about those spaces, because I was thinking like it would be very fitting as a marketing strategy or whatever to mint yourself or just make yourself a Poor Marty and just go into those spaces and just kind of be there as a character, saying, "Hey, I'm this and that. I just landed from this planet. I found a way to travel." Right? So you just wait.
No, I definitely. Yeah, I definitely had that. I definitely had that in the plans. I think technically the only issue right now that I'm running into is just like getting the model from what is it like a FBX file into something that I can bring into VR chat. And
VR chat, you need to have like 40 hours or something of gameplay before you can upload your own characters.
Right. So I gotta get into you need to get
VR chat so that you could get like if
right. Yeah, no, and then there's a lot of those things that I'm actually like, because I'm kind of just jumping in, I'm not realizing there's they're not crazy barriers, but there are some barriers before you can get into like creating a lot of this custom stuff, like with Twitch and enabling the bits to actually have like 100% control of my commands. I need to have like a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of time on there. So yeah, there are little short barriers that I need to like put more time into to be able to do all of this stuff.
Right. Well, I guess our time is out. If Agni, are there any questions on Twitch? Is there something happening? Well, no questions. I guess we made everything very clear for our listeners if there were any. So, by the way, one more thing. In my Discord channel, we're having NFT participation badges. To those who watched, to those who wanted to receive an NFT participation badge, you join our Discord and DM POAP bot with a secret code that you'll get in 1 second. And then if you don't have a crypto wallet, make one with MetaMask. You'll need to click a link and then you're gonna receive your participation badge. So just DM with a secret code, DM POBOT. And this week's secret code is Rich Marty. If you write in Rich Marty, DM Rich Marty with DM Rich Marty, you'll get a link and you can receive the participation badge to show that you've been to the 4th Pioneers XR event. So thank you, Marty. Thank you for coming, for sharing your story, telling us about POORMARTY. You inspired me and inspired everyone. You gave a lot of nice ideas. So thanks for coming.
There we go. Oh man, thank you for having me. This is fun. This is actually like my first real VR experience. So I'm glad it was with you guys, because this is actually a lot of fun.
Nice. So we're ending the stream here, and we're gonna have a nice little after party with Marty. Bye bye stream. Thanks for coming.